Taylor, congratulations.
Thank
You are
you.
the winner of a 2022 Time to Shine Futures Award.
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Kind of surprised in a good way. I wasn't entirely sure the idea would kind of come into fruition or let alone be taken seriously. So when I heard about it, it was good news, especially for those it benefits. But yeah, just a pleasant surprise, if anything.
So you wrote two futures during the pandemic
Yeah.
in response to a very real issue where we didn't have enough staff to cover just our normal rotas. And you thought it would be a good incentive for staff to have a little bit extra pay when they pick up shifts over and above their normal work hours.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think that the lockdown was just pressuring. Everyone was stressed, everyone was kind of out of their mind. No one was really knowing what was going on at the beginning there. Everyone was, trying to follow the procedures, panicking a bit, and that affected the staff as much as it did the people we support. And at the same time, because of that, people started leaving, I think, round about then, like staff turnover crashed. And what I was reading reports of it, not just within Cargom, but all over the UK, people leaving left, right and centre. Again, the money conversation came into it, and we just simply thought time and a half would be nice, because a lot of us would have to do like long weeks, sometimes up to 8 days in a row. And then if someone was on annual leave or someone left, what would happen is we would get the call the next morning when we're relaxing after a long week. Can you come in? Can you do even just a couple of hours? And we would be drained mentally, physically. We just wouldn't have the incentive. But the money, I think, it sounds a bit superficial, but it helps. I know it was just like time and a half, but really, I think just having extra money for relief, having that extra bit of support, it's more likely to make you subconsciously stick to doing the job, I think, just because you know that that's there.
What led you to make that decision to actually come to Futures with your idea?
I'm always slightly skeptical of these things because they look good on the surface, But I didn't think this would be taken seriously. But Keith came in, mentioned it, and I thought it would just be an opportunity. I may as well use it and see where it goes. And I thought if this is the place to go to put in ideas, I would do it. And so I did. I actually sat down with some of my colleagues and I told them I'm going to put in, this idea into Futures. Do you have any suggestions? And they had more or less just said, yeah, we agree with you. Time and a half would be nice. So I put in the idea, and then lo and behold, I got an email, I think a week later, saying they're taking it into consideration. I thought, okay, wow, that's great. And then, yeah, obviously it's not until, I think it's been a year now, maybe? And this is the first time I've heard that they actually, not only did they take the idea into consideration, it won, the idea has been successful, and now I'm getting an award for it, which was just incredibly surprising.
How did you feel when in April the announcement came out that we're actually going to offer enhanced payment to people taking overtime shifts?
At the time, I actually didn't think it was my influence that made that idea happen, because my general conception of it was that everyone was on the same page. So I thought either someone's had the idea before me, or they've had a meeting somewhere on the board and just thought, yeah, we'll do this. But not once did I think it was my idea that kind of sparked that idea. I didn't know at the time, so I just thought, oh, that's great. At least, they're making changes, that's positive. I didn't even really consider the fact that I put the idea into Futures at that point.
It's almost like a no-brainer idea.
Exactly.
But because this is a charity and it's kind of difficult to have conversations about money and wanting more money.
Yeah.
So somebody had to actually stop and say it. Taylor, why do you think it's important to get recognized through a staff award system at the AGM?
I think it just gives recognition to the people that work at Cargom. And for me, it's a nice surprise. I didn't expect anything of it. And as I said before, you feel listened to and you feel a bit more included, and you feel like you're part of the process and that people are listening, mainly those who actually make the decisions, which is kind of a rarity, I think, in many places.